The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Dan Moylan with you, along with Michael Normanton and Rob Conlon as well on propaganda. Some of these more fun than others.
Last week, a high point.
Yeah, went on for ages because we had loads of happy Leeds fans. We lost to Brighton at the weekend, so we're reacting to that. First of all, from a Leeds perspective, the Brighton half, minimal, isn't it? That's going to be fairly short.
I mean, we don't need to dwell on this game in general, do we?
No, this isn't like a soap opera where you've got to put out 27 minutes or whatever every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 10 minutes, it's fine, isn't it?
on the plus side, though, we can record this episode, and then next season, when we lose at Brighton again, we're just going to put this one out again. It'll be fine.
Assuming we're not relegated.
We got a bunch of feedback from our TSB Plus members, including scores for the players, which we'll do in a second. But first of all, we need to get into the important matters that we discussed on the match ball. We're looking for feedback on the match ball as well, post-Brighton. And did you recall this being said rather prophetically about the unlucky third kit?
It looks like something a kid might have designed.
I think
Radrizzani does get involved.
Something a kid might have designed, Radrizzani getting involved. Just joking, the pair of you.
Well,
turns out
Radrizzani getting involved was not a joke, because we know he does like to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But how old's his kid that is involved in this?
10 or 11, isn't he, or something?
For fuck's sake.
So what we're referring to here, by the way, Andrea Radrizzani's socials suggesting that the third kit was designed by Sammy, his son.
Yeah. I used to get, I can't remember if it was Match or Shoot. You'll remember this, Rob will be too young, but there used to be a blank kit section in that where you'd do it, and that'd always be like the highlighter pens and wild shit and crisscrossers and checks and stripes and everything all on the one kit.
Yeah.
That's happened, doesn't it?
Made it look like disco pajamas, and that has happened, yeah. So that sounds, it's very professional, isn't it?
I mean, we've criticised Adidas, but they must receive these emails and think, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Why are you sending me your kids' drawing?
We say that a lot of the Adidas World Cup kits have been revealed, and they all look dead nice. And like the Sweden ones, home and away, look really, really good.
Oh,
like
I've seen these.
The Adidas stripes for the Sweden kit, blue, yellow, blue.
What are they? A sort of a pissy yellow?
No tie dye. They are the traditional, what you might call Swedish colours.
Well, they're not very disruptive, are they?
Like,
the Swedes. That's their problem.
Whose son designed them? Is that Henrik Larsson's son or something?
Correct, Rob. That's interesting, isn't it? Kids designing kits.
Yeah, let's leave it to the professionals. Is what I would say in future.
I mean, I do remember Angus Kinnear, when I chatted to him in here, said that they generally leave stuff to the designers at Adidas.
That's what happens when you own a football club, isn't it? You can just do what you want.
Moving on.
I mean, it's not in terms of things that Leeds United owners have done just because they fancied it. I suppose it's relatively benign.
Yeah,
could be a lot worse.
But given how pissy people get about kits,
I mean, we do make a huge amount of money for them, so maybe, do a better job. People seem to like it. I mean, truthfully, there's plenty of them being sold. If
it's a 10-year-old kid who's designing it, I mean, could he do any worse than put him in charge of our transfer activity? I mean, we are recording Tuesday morning now, late Tuesday morning. A couple of days left until the deadline shuts. Looks like Leeds are potentially going to be quiet, if you're to believe the noises that David Ornstein's making.
Well, we're going to record the main podcast on Thursday this week, aren't we? Because of after the midweek game. So, and after the window's shut.
I think it shuts Thursday night, doesn't it?
Shuts Thursday. You're going to have the deadline day pod. Put the blue ticker or whatever it is.
We're going to have to be in here till midnight, waiting for the faxes to land.
Gets me out of the house, doesn't it?
There won't be any faxes landing, will there? We live in hope.
But if it is going to be quiet, let's put Sammy in charge of transfers. I mean, like my own Sam, my son, he's pretty good when it comes to buying players, like on FIFA and stuff. Just goes out and buys loads of good ones.
It's not difficult, is it? No. Use the filters like left backs, strikers, search by who's the best.
Anyway,
buy one of them.
People aren't happy because we lost at Brighton. All the old gripes are coming out again now. We're going to do the average scores now at the start of this show for the game that's just gone, the Brighton game. So any surprises? And this is from our TSB Plus members, by the way, and they can rate everybody, including the subs, and Jesse Marsh gets a score as well. So shall we? Do we want to do all the team, or should we just do the key highlights?
I mean, pretty much everyone is quite bad. Rodrigo stands out as being the worst, 4.63. Meslier the best, 7.86. Everyone else is basically between 5.26 and 6.28.
Yeah, 4 players above a 6 doesn't bode well for the result. But I mean, when was the last time we played at Brighton and the left back wasn't the worst rated player?
It's true. You're going to, Firpo, Alioski. Prior to that,
it wasn't Dubok, that was Derby, wasn't it?
If he'd played, he would have been the worst player. We can guarantee that. Or Vernon Anita will probably have been bad there once. I don't know. I can't remember further back than the Alioski game. But yeah, it's not a good place for a left back, or indeed for anyone.
Anybody. I was going to say playing in white, but playing in pyjamas. Jesse Marsh in this one scored 5.23 out of 10 after a previous high of whatever it was last week against Chelsea. It was a very high score against Chelsea, wasn't it? What was it? He got 9.51 last week, down to a 5.23.
Rodrigo, hero to zero again as well.
Yeah, which we'll come on to in the comments, actually. What this is letting us do, by the way, is keep it all on a fancy spreadsheet so we can track player of the year week by week. So we can sort of tell you now who's in line for the gong at the end of the season. Not that there is a gong necessarily, or we might have to have one made now.
I'd like a craft project.
Yep.
I could set about one.
I think you should.
I did this table. I could make something papier-mâché maybe.
I think that's we'll task you with that then.
Or I can get my kids to do it like Retrosani would.
Good idea.
Some absolute like hodgepodge of yogurt pots and cardboard Amazon packaging sellotape together.
Yeah, so the scores that we give week by week for the players and the manager across the season, we'll keep track of it and we'll let you know week by week who's in line for player of the year, and we'll do that towards the end of this show. First, let's do the bloodletting then, all the stuff that's made us miserable across the weekend. Seagulls, basically, as a sort of general concept, as the architects of our downfall this weekend. And Nathan has sent in his tape, hasn't he?
He has.
Recorded this tape.
Recorded it in Brighton.
Yeah, as you can tell. And the squawking in the background, it somehow feels appropriate.
Well, that was pretty crap, weren't it? Currently sat in a car park in Brighton. Bastard seagulls flying around everywhere. You can probably hear them in the background. Piss-taking bastards. Yeah, it's one of those games, wasn't it, that Leeds put us through sometimes where just nothing seemed to go right. No real stand-up performance. I'm tired, I'm sunburnt, I'm dying of thirst, and just want to be back home. But, if you're looking for positives, then, I don't know, a few attacking chances we created. We didn't lose 9-0 like Bournemouth did, so take what positives you can, I suppose.
Quite a low bar to clear that one, though, isn't it? And we're recording in the morning that Scott. I can't stop. Scotty.
Has he been sacked?
He's been fired.
Has he? I've missed that.
Oh, he got fired when you were on the way in. Yeah, he's been fired.
Oh, there you go. That's not long, is it? Who are they getting?
I mean, who's gonna hawk off very, very expensive sort of Gestapo-looking cardigans now on Match of the Day?
Who's going to get that job?
I think he's not helped himself by coming into the season saying we're rubbish and all our players are rubbish and we're not going to stay up. And then they've got beat 9-0 and gone, well,
what
should we get someone else to do it?
Should have kept Leif Davis. He was holding the whole thing together last year.
Philip is asking if...
Sean Dyche's favourite, by the way.
Okay.
Just to let you know, so he might be making a return to the Premier League, which is great news for me.
It is great news for you. Have we got any early indications from Sean Dyche about how he feels about the potential of getting the job?
I've got fucking sunburn down there.
Your head?
Yeah, my head, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And he's a redhead as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, Philip's asking if Brighton have some sort of footballing kryptonite over us. They're good, I suppose, he says, but God, it's dull, really. Boney M starts off, I think, quite philosophical, which is kind of that was how we felt with the match ball. Started philosophical, but then went full Normanton.
Spirals a bit, doesn't it?
We're always crap against Brighton. Nothing to worry about. Even if Rodrigo did look a bit shit like last season. Well, actually, half the team looked crap, so I'm not sure you can blame him. Thinking about it, I don't even think the little scum bastard touched the ball once. Penis ball wasn't quite working, there was no press. It looks like we need a left back, it looks like we need a striker. They're not going to sign anyone. Probably going to sell Harrison. We're going to get relegated. Where are those Chelsea highlights? Let's watch those again.
Yeah, it's like the reality started dawning then, didn't it, as we were going on.
Nothing to worry about, though.
It's all fine. Andy in Salford's asking why we can't win at Brighton. Is it time to bring back Neil Kilkenny from his Australian exile? Because he's the last, he says, this might not be scientifically accurate, he's about the last player from Leeds to score away at this lot.
I did interview him for issue 1 of the mag, so I can ask him if you want.
Oh,
back in the team.
Are you BFFs now?
Yeah, I'll drop him a Snapchat or something.
He's not still playing, is he?
Yep, it's got some. Yep. Cool. So we just got distracted by an air conditioning engineer checking the room.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
We are moving to a new office in a few weeks, so that should no longer be a problem. There we go. Lee and Cheese. Should we move on to Lee and Cheese's comments then? A theme I think we can all sort of buy into this one.
Why? Every season? Why do we waste 90 minutes of our life watching this fixture? It is absolutely crap. And I know everyone loves Graham Potter, but I don't. Potter. Shit, seagull wanking wizard.
Seagull wanking wizard.
Fair enough. I don't know how you do that. Did they have a penis? A bird?
Do tweet us, let us know.
They have cloacas, don't they, birds?
Is it not a cloaca?
Cloaca. Cloaca. Let's call the whole thing off. I'm sure we discussed this once before with birds.
For the benefit of anybody who doesn't know what a cloaca is,
it's an all-in-one.
Uh-huh.
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Bit of hotel motel.
I think.
Okay.
Oh no, hang on, I'm confusing it. That's what the women have. That's what a woman bird has. That's an all-in-one for a woman. I don't know what male birds have. Get in touch.
You're gonna be great as Attenborough's replacement, aren't you?
Let's move on to Andy.
Well, that was one for your American newcomer bandwagon fans, wasn't it? Doesn't matter whose penis it is. Can be Jesse's penis, can be Warnock's penis. Doesn't matter what Americans you've got. Can be Adams and Aronson, can be Mike Grella, Eddie Lewis, St. Robbie Rogers. We got to Brighton and we shit. And that's Leeds, that is. But, you know, at the end of the day, if I'd have been offered 3 points from the last 2 games, Chelsea and this lot, I'd have taken it. So fuck it.
Fair enough. Fuck it, yeah.
I think that's kind of where I was with it.
Do you think Jesse's got a cloaca?
No, I think you can see from the genes there's a bit more there. By the way, most male birds don't have penises. Instead, they store their sperm in an internal chamber of their cloaca. So there you go.
They do have
that.
Okay.
There you go.
I was going to say ladybirds. What do they have? But not ladybirds. But
it's separate. There's something similar.
You don't
I have no idea. No.
It's not like you're hideously out of your depth and trying to talk your way out of it.
No,
good. Let's do what Leeds do best and dig out individuals for this defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Connors suggesting Rocker needs a new engine. Not getting much past 60 minutes. Does he just not need to build himself up a little bit?
Yeah, he's weird as Rocker. He's also, I think he's normally taken off because he's also not been that good so far. He's been fine.
Yeah, I thought at half-time maybe he might have got Forshaw on for him just because we were struggling to get hold of the ball or move it forward. But I don't know. I don't actually mind the thing of using him for 60 minutes and then bringing him on because we've got 5 subs.
Yeah.
We've got a squad now. So
well, his season average 6.85 there, Rob.
Well, there you go then.
Over the 4 games so far that he's played.
Yeah, I think he's been fine. And don't get me wrong, I really like having spare midfielders rather than at this point last year. You'd have gone, well, if Forshaw's injured, I guess Koch pushes forward or Strauch comes in, but Strauch's currently out of position at left back, isn't he? So we can't do that.
Aronson, Medford Messi's Glorious Hair is the name of the person who sent this tape in. So it's a written message, isn't it? So it's a telegram. I think Aronson needs to be more confident in his abilities to beat a man and also to twat it in the net. Again, tapping into your coaching expertise, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And Sazzy BM or Sarah, to give her a Sunday name, whichever you prefer. Is Christensen really as bad as people are making him out to be, or does he just need a few more games to settle?
I don't think he was terrible in this one. He was just the same as the rest of them.
Yeah, and the spacing behind thing, I think that's just how we play. I'm a little bit fed up of him just knocking the ball down the line to an opposition player. That's all he seems to do when he gets the ball. He's just pass it down the line, even if a Leeds player's not there. But I don't know.
It's kind of a safety first approach.
When I used to play right back, that's what I used to do as well. just bang it along.
I was going to say, actually, when we watched the fabled Leeds 4-3 against Liverpool, there was a lot of that going on with Gary Kelly. Just pump it down the line.
Yeah,
everyone seemed happy with it.
Pick up scraps.
Yeah. Christensen's score so far for the season 6.09, the average of the 4 games that he's played to date. Rodrigo, back to his old self or just a blip?
There he is. There's the Rodrigo I remember. I do think, though, between the Chelsea performance and this one, we've probably got a good insight into the range of performances we can expect this season. So let's hope for more of the Chelsea level and less of that one.
I mean, all joking aside, that is true, isn't it? We have now seen the range, hopefully. It doesn't get much worse than we saw there. And it can be very, very good.
And all strikers are shit sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are.
I mean, if the whole thing behind you doesn't work, then it's not going to fire for you, is it?
Well, that was the thing as well. The amount of times he was dropping deep to try and get hold of the ball because nothing was really working, but then we'd have no one up front. It was all just a bit of a mess, and it's hard to blame individuals for that, I think.
And we've got a classic Leeds spiral here from Mark, who's suggesting Rodrigo is back to his usual tricks of not being able to complete 5-yard passes. Still need a striker. Bam Bam too injury prone. Joffy still not ready to be first choice striker. Feel Rodrigo's goals will dry up. That's the spirit. Great to be back.
Well, we have been maintaining we should buy a striker despite Rodrigo's form and Bamford being always on the cusp of being fit again, because we can't trust Bamford to be fit and we can't trust Rodrigo to be good because neither of those things have happened in the past couple of years. So let's just get another one.
It was arriving at the Barnsley game in midweek. I got to my seat and sat next to my mate, and he just turned to me and went, "Rodrigo, still not having him."
But I mean, we're giving him more slack now because he's scored some goals.
Yeah, but that's how it works, isn't it? You can excuse the odd bad performance if the mean for the season is better than it has been, which has been pretty crap so far. Anyway, there are questions about tactical failures. Specifically, we've got the high line, the pressing, defensive problems. Katie mentioning that Strauch isn't a left back. We do need a proper one there.
I've noticed that.
It does go to the whole range of performances thing. Like we saw a great one against Chelsea. This wasn't so good.
What, from Strauch?
Yeah.
I mean, he was great. He was no greater than anyone else. Everyone was very good in that game, but again, just still buy a left back. I mean, I've just been listening to you speaking to Phil. We're not getting a left back, are we?
I don't think we're getting anything.
We've got a promising up-and-coming left-back in the under-21s called Alfie McCallum, judging by yesterday's under-21s game, so you never know.
And Wedge is asking, do we have a plan B?
Mateus Click. Seems to be it so far.
Is that it?
Sinistera. I think he's a good option. Although, actually, from the bits we've seen this season, I'm kind of thinking... I feel a bit like with Sinistera and Dan James. You know the way you saw a little glimpse of Rafinha, but then Helder Costa was playing, and you were like, yeah, just play Rafinha. Come on, let's stop pretending. He's much better than him. Just get Dan James booted out.
Ethan's asking who is Brendan's backup. Worries him. When he came off, Joffy came on. Did Joffy play 10? Did Rodrigo? Of course, signing a striker would alleviate this pressure too. ... Everyone's saying it.
I mean, I think it was after the second game, saying I'm already worried what happens if Aronson gets injured because he seems so vital to the way we press and attack. I don't know if anyone else does that.
I suppose we've not really seen Sinistera start a Premier League game yet, so we don't know what that's going to look like. Because also against Barnsley, he played on the left and was cutting in, but then, so is he going to play on the right? Is Harrison going to move to the right? It's still early, isn't it? We're still trying to find things out. I think it's a little bit harsh to ask whether Marsh has a plan B or not, because he did change the shape of things. And last season, he changed the formation around as well. But it's always a sign of things aren't going well if you are changing things like that. So, we're still kind of finding his feet, aren't we?
I think as well there's a bit of an old-fashioned English thing that what people mean when they say they want a plan B, but as it was under Bielsa, he's a really big man to kick the ball at.
Is that what plan B is?
That's the sort of, that's your traditional English plan B. Put someone really quick on or really big. And we've got some people really quick already in the team, so that's plan A is really quick. So then you need Matt Smith to come on.
Got some food for thought for you. Maybe plan B is Junior Firpo. Brendan Aronson is saying that the high line pressing with 4 slow defenders is asking for trouble. He may be a liability, but Firpo's pace is missed.
Has Firpo got pace?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be the case when he's trying to defend. He seems very laborious going back.
My main thing I think of when I think of Firpo is just him running backwards miles behind the winger. So, I mean, that's sort of Christensen's role at the minute, isn't it? So that should be fun, I guess. It'll be something different instead of Strauch.
Dan James at left back.
Yeah. For Spurs?
It'd be awful.
And Boney M and Nathan both pointing out that Everton basically is the important game now. Just forget this one.
Yeah, it's true.
One of those fixtures, Nathan says, perennial bogey team. As long as Fat Frank's crying on Tuesday night, all will be forgiven. Fingers crossed. I mean, let's shift from this blame game with our players. We love them really, don't we? We're in a new, brave new era and all that. We're very supportive in the circle of trust and all that. Let's blame the referee.
Yep. Okay. Michael Salisbury.
Yeah. So, Patrick says he used the word crap. Nathan used the word useless fucking biased twat. just, that's Nathan's opinion, not ours. Daniel suggesting dreadful.
Reflects it pretty well.
But we do know about the ref crimes as well, don't we? Yeah, he's the spawn of another Salisbury.
He is, of Graham, who was the man who, in fairness, rightly sent Max Gradle off. I suppose you could say, but he enjoyed doing it too much, didn't he? That was his real crime. So yeah, he's only got his job because of his dad.
Yeah, I'm
going to say that as well. I mean,
that Leeds hating bias would have been passed down the generations. That's how it works, isn't it?
He's from Preston, and he's 37, I think, 38. So so he's like my age. So he'll remember the playoff defeat probably,
and the pacing that his dad took on, like in Leeds circles. Yeah.
So that'll annoy him maybe if we're going to get into conspiracies. But yeah, we've got a bit of other beef with Graham Salisbury. There was a game where he didn't give us penalties against Brentford as well, apparently.
Right.
So it's a dreadful family.
Max should have chinned him when he had the chance.
It's the deep state conspiracy, isn't it? Big refs are doing whatever big refs do.
And I know it would have probably resulted in a 15-match ban for Max Gradle. Should have let him go.
You think it'd have been worth it?
Let him go, Jermaine. Let him do his worst.
Like a caged lion. Set him free.
I mean, Max Gradle's, he was pretty angry that day, but he's not in general a very physically intimidating man, is he? He's like sort of 10 stone of admittedly a lot of anger in there, but he calmed down in later life. But it was rightly directed at the Salisburys as a family. He didn't do anything. There was not one decision that was that bad. He just gave loads of really, really soft stuff to them, I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's Brighton away and it's a crap game like it always is, and Leeds are playing a bit crap, you just don't need a pedantic referee giving really soft decisions. It just made it all the more worse and frustrating.
I mean, when you lose, you do have a tendency to default to the position of the ref hated as everyone's against us, but it felt like that, didn't it?
It was just a bit shit. There were a few little fouls on our players that he didn't pick up on. There was definitely a real...
Well, goodness, Michael, you just stopped talking there. That was exciting, wasn't it?
The Salisburys were on the Mrs. Salisbury, I believe it was. I saw her running away from the fuse box, cackling as we were trashing her family.
We just had a thrilling power cut here in the studio.
Big refs trying to silence us, but we're going to keep speaking the truth.
Some people had come in as like electrical engineers, aren't they, or something, like checking the aircon, but we know that we're in disguise.
Yeah.
Like, they do when the FBI are like stalking something out, they're dressed up as like, I don't know, florist or whatever in a florist van.
I bet there's bugs all over this room as well now. I mean, the fact we broadcast it all probably negates the need for a bug, but you know what I mean. Just to get the off-camera stuff, the real juicy info.
Anyway, we're blaming the Salisbury family.
Yeah, fine.
Let's move on. So, player of the year so far. Then we can start to track this now. We're a few games in. We've got a bit of data. So we do the player ratings. Our TSB Plus members send them into us in the wake of every game. We put it into our fancy spreadsheet, and it tracks the player of the year week by week.
Dan's only calling it a fancy spreadsheet because he did it, and he did a formula, and he's very, very proud of himself.
Do you want to know what formulas I did?
It's hot Excel chat.
Yeah, it's Google Sheets.
Google Sheet, yeah. So there's a bit of count if going on, and some if error with some sums in brackets, which I think is for anybody who's involved in spreadsheeting. You'll know what I'm talking about. Did you enjoy my use of concatenate in the other part of the spreadsheet?
The what?
Concatenate, joining two cells together to make it into one text, in it. It was nice, I thought, but anyway.
I didn't enjoy it. Anyway, the scores will average out over the season, and we can award and track across the season who's going to be player of the year. So should we do the scores like in reverse order, like the charts?
We don't need to go all the way.
I'll just do your top five. So Rodrigo, 7.31, he's number 5. Tyler Adams slightly ahead, 7.44. Jackie's number 3, 7.49. Brendan, 7.84.
The Young Badger.
Yeah, the Young Badger. And Elan Mellier is bang on 8. He's averaged out at exactly 8, as the numbers would have it. Jesse Marsh with a 6.68 so far.
Any other managers scored on there? Or is he the best one we've got?
He's the only one we've got at the minute.
Okay, good.
So yeah, he's ranged from an 8 to a 3.98 to a 9.51 to a 5.23. You can probably figure out which games are which and all that. So at the minute, Mellier on for player of the year.
And Patrick Bamford stinking the place out on 5.79.
Bless him. Well, there you go. That wraps up Propaganda Part 1 for this week. We're going to do some more propaganda later in the week, aren't we, post Everton? So,
and there's a bit of Barnsley in Propaganda Extra for TSB Plus people as well. Just a little bit. Yep. We don't need to dedicate a full episode to them because there's only Barnsley in second string.
You got to punch up towards the Premier League big football, haven't you? Not down to those little mining simpletons.
We'll be speaking down to Barnsley a little bit more in that show.
Yeah, so look out for Propaganda Extra this week then, your TSB Plus feed. Also, we've got the other half of this to come, which again might not be as much fun as the Chelsea one, but we will plough on regardless. In for a penny, in for a pound and all that, yeah?
Yeah, I suppose.
We'll speak to you on that. Bye-bye.
The Square Ball Podcast.